Hey guys, I don't know how this update is going to go, but I'm only going to film it once, and it's probably going to be really long and rambly, and I'm probably going to completely lose my cool at various points throughout the video, but I'm going to try to keep myself together so that I can convey what I am going through right now. So, with that as a preface, please be forewarned that I'm going to be talking about some very heavy maternal mental health struggles that I'm having right now. So if that's not your thing, click out. And I also want everyone to know that this is not a cry for help. I am in touch with all of the care providers. I have another appointment set up today and this afternoon, and then hopefully after that I will be prescribed some medication. And I have all the faith in the world that meds are going to help me in this situation. They have come in clutch for me every time I've gone through postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. And so I do believe I'm going to have success in responding to the medications. So I don't want anyone to be worried about me or feel like you need to do anything. I am safe. I'm not in danger. No one around me is in danger. Everything is fine, but I am not okay right now. And I want to be honest about that. I want to be very raw and open because we need to be able to talk about perinatal mood disorders, postnatal mood disorders, maternal mental health in general. We need to feel safe talking about it without the stigma of thinking we're going to get in trouble or something is going to happen, we're going to be taken away from our families, something like that. It's not like that. There is help to be had out there, and when you reach a point where you feel like you need to get help, you got to go get help. And I'm in the process of doing that, and I want to encourage anyone else who has happened upon this video, who is going through something similar, to do so as well, because everything will be fine. Like my midwife told me yesterday, you are not dying. You're not dying. It feels like you're dying. You're not dying. So everything is going to be fine. But this will be my 7-week pregnancy update. It's September 29th, I believe. It's a Friday, and I'm 7 weeks pregnant even today. And we're just going to dive into the symptoms. It's a little bit of the same as what I've been experiencing before. Namely, I am having a lot of vivid dreams, night sweats, insomnia. I take just like the tiniest crumb of Unisom every night. That helps me at least sleep through the night without waking up with restless body syndrome, where I just cannot fall asleep and my mind is racing all night long. So little tiny bit of Unisom really goes a long way for me. And fatigue of varying degrees each day. Another really rough thing I'm dealing with right now is that my baby just is not sleeping. He's just not sleeping, and I don't get it. I don't know why. Up until he was 14 months old, he was sleeping through the night. It was rare that he'd even wake up one time. He's been such a good sleeper up until when he was 14, 15 months old. And ever since then, I'll be lucky if I get a night where I'm not going up 7 or 8 times each night. And I mean, I'll be really lucky. A lot of the times it's more than 8 times per night that I'm up with my baby. So I don't know what it is. It's not teeth. He's not sick. He's fine. He's getting outdoor access and exercise all day long. Nothing has changed. Except, he's starting to talk a lot more. So this could just be that 1.5-year regression, and we're getting it hard. It's like we're getting the 4-month regression, the 8-month regression, and the 1.5-year regression all wrapped up into one bundle because none of the other regressions affected him. So definitely lack of sleep and constantly being jarred awake is not helping my other symptoms that I will be diving into. But before I get to the mental health stuff, I will also say that the nausea has kicked in. I started this week fine. At 6 weeks even, I was fine physically. I was feeling totally normal. But around 6 plus 2, 6 plus 3, I started feeling a little bit of like a kind of a shady stomach. And then 6 plus 4, 6 plus 5, it was like, okay, I actually really just don't, I feel like a very mild hangover all day long. Nothing to have made me want to actually throw up. Yesterday was pretty bad, where I was like, okay, I feel moderate key nauseous all day. Not, again, to the point where I'd want to throw up, but it's just all day long, right? And then this morning I did get up and just start dry heaving in the morning. It's hard because an empty stomach doesn't help the nausea, but I have to take my thyroid medicine on an empty stomach in the morning, and then I have to wait for an hour afterward before I can eat. And so it's just like I'm already not doing so great, kind of feeling a little sick, and then it just nosedives me into just a bad place. So in my last pregnancy, I dealt with really bad nausea, worse by far than what I'm going through right now. And I just learned to take my thyroid medicine at night so that at least I could wake up and start the day with some food in my stomach. So I may have to make that transition now. Okay, so I actually feel pretty calm and collected, so that's good. But I am dealing with significant mental health issues. I would at this point say I've crossed over the threshold of being able to cope with it. I am now in what I consider to be mental health crisis. Not to the point where I would go to the hospital, okay, but I definitely see myself heading in that trajectory if I don't get help sooner rather than later. Because like I said in my last video, I'm only 7 weeks pregnant. I expect for this symptom, because I'm calling this a first trimester symptom, this perinatal anxiety and depression and panic now that I'm dealing with, I'm considering it a symptom of pregnancy at the moment because it feels very much hormone driven. If it acts like any of my other first trimesters that I've had across all my other kids, it's just going to get worse until I'm like 9 or 10 weeks pregnant. That's when it's going to peak. It'll probably peak around, 9 to 10 weeks, and then it will slowly start to get better until I'm like 13, 14 weeks. And that's around the time between 14 and 16 weeks that I really start to get my energy and my joie de vivre back. So like my husband told me last night, I need to remember in my darkest times that this is temporary. This is not permanent. It will get better. There is help. But at the same time, I cannot fathom surviving one more day living how I am right now, let alone 7 more weeks before I get better. That won't happen. It won't happen. Okay. I must get help now. So, what am I experiencing? I am living in a constant state of panic at the moment. Before it was anxiety because it felt like it was more in my head. It was more of like a mental thing, but now it is manifesting itself 24/7 physically. I am pacing the house all day long. I'm shaking. I'm constantly shaking. I'm constantly fidgeting. I can't hold still. I'm short of breath. I have a tightness in my chest and in my throat, and I start to cry uncontrollably. And when that happens, I'm talking like I start gasping for air, like, the type that I start hyperventilating. That's what it's called. It's full on. Yesterday, I had such a breakdown that I had to call the emergency hotline just to get someone to sort of talk me out of the place I was in, because I was not on this planet at all. I was not here. And then I got in touch with my midwives, and they called me back, and I explained everything I was going through, and I told them I needed medication ASAP, and I needed to be put in the queue to speak with a psychologist. And unfortunately, she's like, I can't help you with any of that. So the advice she gave me, she was really helpful, but the advice she gave me was to call my husband and see if he could come home, so that I wasn't alone, because definitely being alone makes it the worst. Being with my kids, being around my husband, being distracted by like the normal rigmaroles of responsibilities throughout the day and stuff, that makes it a little bit more, it makes it easier for me to like kind of just stay on top of it, I guess, out of necessity. It doesn't feel any better, but I'm not like completely falling apart. But then she told me I needed to call Vårdcentralen, which is the healthcare center, and I needed to talk to a doctor to get that medication and then be, I guess, written a prescription for therapy. I don't know if I've got that right. I'm not quite sure because I haven't even gotten to that point yet. But I called Vårdcentralen, and of course they were closed. They only have telephone times between like 7 and 9 in the morning, 7:45 and 9 in the morning, and then they book up for the whole day. And then you're shit out of luck. So she told me that if I couldn't get a time at the doctor's yesterday, that I could go to something called the Hurcentralen. I can never say that word. It's like an after hours clinic where you can get emergency help, but it's not the emergency room, that kind of thing. So the one nearest me opened at 5 yesterday, and so I couldn't get in to see my regular doctor yesterday, so I said to myself, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I will see if I can get it to 5. If I can't make it to 5, I will go to the hospital. And if I can make it to 5, then I can go to this after hours clinic. But if I feel like I can make it until tomorrow morning, which is today, like this morning, so that I could call my local healthcare center, then I will wait and do that. And I was able to make it through. I was living in a pretty heavy state of catharsis yesterday after I had my breakdown. I was very, very tired and very subdued. I felt very drugged and just I felt numb. So I was able to make it through okay, and had a pretty bad night, but whatever. And then I got up this morning, and unfortunately, my baby, he's 1.5 years old, he had a little touch of the stomach flu last week. He got some really bad diarrhea, and my baby is very, very sensitive to his diarrhea. He gets diaper rash like that. And of course, he got a horrible diaper rash. I have tried all the salves on the market here lately, but his skin is finicky. It doesn't react to salves the way that my other kids have. And so the only type of product that I found to work for him is called Pseudocreme, but we had a tub and it got lost. I'm afraid it got knocked into the garbage pail in his room. And just got thrown away because it's been gone for a while, and I have to import it from the UK, so it takes like up to a week to get here. So I ordered some on Amazon, and I've been waiting for it to come, but it's not going to come until I think Monday of next week. So in this time of me just trying to use regular salves and keep him dry, keep him clean, everything like that, this rash has gotten so bad. I have never seen skin so red in my whole life. But it also is not behaving like a diaper rash, because when he's gotten really bad diaper rashes, this is before I discovered Pseudocreme, he would get these sores, okay, like these open ulcers. And he's not getting that. His skin is totally intact and fine, but it is blood red, not even blood red, darker than blood. It's like the color of my pants. This is exactly the color of his whole entire butt, his junk, everything. I've never seen skin be this color before in my life. And I was Googling it, and it's like, oh, they could have a yeast infection, and that's what this can look like. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeast infection. That kind of makes sense. So anyway, I needed to call the doctor for myself this morning, but I have to get my baby into the doctor today instead, to get maybe a yeast cream or to get this looked at, because he cannot go one more day physically the way he's looking right now. So I had to prioritize him, and I took the available doctor slot this morning for him instead of me. But what I did decide to do instead was I used an online telehealth service called Kry here, and they've been really amazing for me in the past. And I realized, you know what, it probably would be so helpful for me to just talk to someone on a video and not be in that confronting in-person situation where I have my baby probably screaming and crying on the floor next to me. I can put him in his crib with some milk and, I don't know, some toys and whatever, and he can be safe there, and I can go to another room and speak quietly to the doctor. So that's what I did. So yeah, and I told them I'm having a crisis and I need medication today. It needs to come today. If pregnancy safe medication does not come to me today, I'm going to take my postpartum depression medication, which apparently is not dangerous to take short term or especially in the first trimester. It's Lexapro. And so I'm going to take that. If I don't get something that's like Zoloft today, from the doctors, I'm going to just put myself on my Lexapro and see how I respond to that, and then tackle the broader issue next week, assuming I get stable by taking this medication. But I talked about it with him, and he asked me all the questions, and he sent me this questionnaire. And then I don't know why we need to do this, but he said he's going to call me back at 4 p.m. and then we will go over my questionnaire. I don't understand why we need to have this break. I don't know. He's going to call me back at 4 p.m. and we're going to talk again. And then I very much impressed upon him that I need those medications because I cannot go one more day without some sort of intervention. I just can't. It's not going to work. That's where I'm at. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys and candid. The very, very simple reality of all of this is, if I don't find a medication to stabilize me within the next short period of time, I am not going to be able to proceed with this pregnancy. And that is the absolute truth, because I'm telling you guys I'm dying, and I'm dying quickly right now. I'm not good. I'm so not good that I can't even cry about it right now. I'm not good. But the good that has come from all of this is that I was able to open up to my husband yesterday about how I've been feeling. I have been keeping this very tight-fisted and close to my heart. I've been holding it all inside. I know everyone has noticed that I have been a little bit more irritable than usual, but I'm also first trimester pregnant. I don't feel good. That would make any normal, reasonable person irritable, but I have not opened up to anyone about anything. I don't feel like my Swedish family members, how do I say this? I really wish I could open up to my mom, but that would also never work. I don't have anyone I can really open up to, and that's not to say they're not there, because they are there. But me opening up to people besides my husband or trained medical professionals doesn't do me any good, because I have to, it's like then they'll know, you know what I mean? And I can no longer pretend like I'm okay, because in some moments I need to just pretend I'm okay. And I know that once people know something that I'm dealing with, that I'm struggling with on the inside, they hold a key to my facade. And after I reveal that information to them, there is no putting up the facade again. I very much wear my heart on my sleeve. So once I vocalize or admit something, it's like my wall comes crashing down, and then I don't have that layer of defense to protect myself. And it is a self-preserving mechanism, to be very honest. At least it is for me. So I don't want to open up to anyone who knows me in real life besides my husband. And I really just can't also, especially with my mom, because I know already that she would judge me so hardcore for trying for another baby anyway, that I don't need that element of negativity in my life. So, I wish I had the energy to show you guys on the outside how I'm feeling on the inside, because right now I am in complete turmoil and I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying, and I know I'm not dying, but I feel like I'm dying. I don't. I feel like I have been, I live with this constant state of dread and doom and fear. I feel like I am in major, major trouble. And I feel like, I am in an irreparable state of danger and trouble. And I feel like, that I've been assigned to one of Dante's rings of hell. That's how I described it on my Instagram channel today. I feel like I've been assigned, that I'm dead and I'm going to hell, and I've been assigned to that ring of hell, and I'm coming to terms with the fact that I will be there for all eternity. That is how I feel. It is such an overwhelming sense of dread and doom. And I don't know if you can remember a time that you felt real dread, real dread, where you feel like the entire inside of you is decaying, and yet you can't escape it. It's like a life term prison sentence, the complete loss of hope. You know, I don't have any good moments during the day anymore. I just have bad, really bad, and crisis. Those are my modes right now. And being around my kids really helps in a way because they ground me, they lift me up, they remind me this is my life. I'm okay. This is my real life, not what I'm feeling on the inside. This death I'm feeling on the inside is not real. It's just hormones. It's just brain chemistry. It's just a weird way that I am, like my adrenaline and everything is reacting to. It's not actual real life. These people are my life and everything is good. And look at, they're smiling and they're eating and they're telling me about their day and they're running to me and giving me hugs and loves and they want me to read them books. And so they keep me up and going. But at the same time, it used to be that I would be able to like kind of piggyback on their joy and I would feel it too. I would remember, oh yeah, this feels good. Like I love this. And now it's a complete act. What I'm doing right now, I'm just going through the motions and smiling and being gentle and calm and slow because I need to put on this front so that they don't see the turmoil on the inside. So I am very much looking forward to this evening when one way or the other, I'm going to be getting a medication into my system and hoping that I will experience some relief from all of these feelings so that I can really sit in reality and make the right decision for how to proceed. And I do have a lot of faith and hope that I'm going to get control of this and it's going to be okay. And I'm clinging on to the hope that once I get through the first trimester, at least, things will get much better. I feel like I'm dealing with the mental health version of HG. You know, that condition where women just violently vomit all day, every day, just nausea and vomiting beyond recognition. I feel like that's what I have, but I have like the mental health version of it, you know? So if they can do it, if they can survive that, if they can push through it, I need to find a way to do that as well. So that's where I'm at right now. It's my brutally honest update. This video is 25 minutes long, and I don't think I'm going to watch this back or edit it because I don't want to think to myself, oh, I forgot to say this or I shouldn't have said that. I just want to leave it as it is and walk away from this video. So I don't know how I'm going to update about this. Maybe I will do some updates in the community tab of my YouTube channel, or maybe I will do a midweek update between now and next Friday. I start work on Monday, so it's going to be kind of hard for me to do like casual daytime videoing when my kids are at school. But I don't know, maybe you guys are just going to have to wait until next Friday or Saturday when I'm able to upload my 8-week update. But unfortunately, I feel so wildly nauseous right now that I just want to puke up my brain, and I also think I want to puke up my soul because that's just how it's feeling right now. I hope one day we can look back on this and laugh. That's the hope, or feel strong that I made it through and I advocated for myself and I was able to find a solution. That's the best case scenario, is I'm able to look back on this moment and say that. But as it stands right now, I'm very much in the thick of it. And if you are in the thick of it too, you're not alone. You're not alone. Yeah, so I'm going to stop rambling now, but I will catch you guys when I catch you guys. And hopefully I have better news to report, okay? Bye, everyone.